Good evening. Elvis Presley died today. He was 42. Apparently it was a heart attack. He was found at his home in Memphis, not breathing.
Well, 24 years ago today, iconic rapper Tupac Shakur was shot here in Las Vegas.
The rapper was shot inside of a BMW while stopped at a red light on Koval and Flamingo. And we all know the story. He then died 6 days later.
Kurt Cobain, the lead singer of the enormously popular rock band Nirvana, is dead at the age of 27.
Atlanta-based rapper Takeoff, real name Pershnik Kari Ball, has died, according to police, after he was shot at a bowling alley in Houston.
It's hard to keep up with Sam Smith's identity. It's one of last night's Grammys. They, as Smith now prefers to be called, identified as Satan.
Blood Sneakers, Lil Nas X's collaboration with art collective Mischief. The 666 pair of sneakers feature gold pentagrams, inverted crosses, as well as human blood inside the sole.
Katy Perry performs Dark Horse at the Grammys.
He liked the Amy Grant music.
Yeah.
But it didn't work out, so I sold the devil.
I sold my soul to the devil. I know it's a crappy deal. Pizza came with a few toys like a Happy Meal.
You've had three conversations with the devil. Why with the devil?
Well, to make a fair decision, I think you have to be aware of both sides. And I was approached, so of course I had a conversation.
I think that we all, as artists, because we're highly sensitive people, and this machine around us, this so-called music industry, is such a demonic thing. It's sacrificing people's lives and their essences at the drop of a dime.
Ran around with a band that I won't name them, but a satanic rock band, and all their music was very wicked. And one day I just asked him, I said, "Where do you get those horrible songs that you write?" And he said to me, "We all get in a room and the songs just come. We know that to be automatic writing." And he said, "The songs just come, we write them down, we record them, and then we take the master tape to a witch coven and they pray over it, so that when we press the records and they go into people's homes, demons go home with each record."
Dang!
Satan is using the rock groups as his patsy to evangelize the youth of the world.
When I see the way these people are encouraging kids to live, there is no doubt in my mind we have got to be more militant in our own stand.
The satanic message is clear, both in the album covers and in the lyrics, which are reaching impressionable young minds.
When a form of music that our children like becomes linked with ghoulish images and violent theatrics, and even suicide, it demands our attention. Perhaps more to the point that children need our attention.
Some rock artists actually seem to encourage teen suicide. Ozzy Osbourne sings Suicide Solution. Blue Oyster Cult sings Don't Fear the Reaper. AC/DC sings Shoot to Thrill. Just last week, in Center Point, a small Texas town, a young man took his life while listening to the music of AC/DC. He was not the first.
Anyway, this music had young people basically just killing themselves and worshiping the
Pastor
devil.
Lewis,
He
Craig in the house.
We went in high school, kids would come to school with the Satanic Bible, and this music would have all kinds of vicious pictures and graphic pictures on the CD covers and all this. I mean, it was just a mess. Holy Spirit came to me a little while after that and said, spoke to me and said, "Craig, this is not pleasing to the devil." He said, "The devil is not satisfied with this because the brothers ain't down with heavy metal. Black folk ain't liking that." But he began to tell me that there was something coming that was getting ready to rock this nation. It's going to be worse than a bomb. But it was going to create a bunch of young people that were going to totally defy order. The whole world would be rocked by the impact of it. he began to prepare something to catch and captivate the minds of America and pull them straight into his own belly. That form of music that he was forming was what we know as the hip-hop culture.
How do we live in a society where somebody says, you know what, I'm inspired to write a song that celebrates murdering another person, and then a person says, I'd like to put that on my station. Another person said, I'd like to pay for it, and then there's people out here in the audience that go, I'd love to hear it, as long as it's black guys, because even white people buy rap music, buy this type of stuff, because we know that when we want to hear about killing each other, we know who to turn to for that type of inspiration. Ooh. We call it our music. We say we own it. White people buy more rap than black people. Yeah, but we're very careful to turn it down at the stoplight when other black people are there. Why? Because we know we're just pretending. For them, it's more authentic and real.
The reason why Satan has to deceive us and get us into entertainment and cause us to be so focused on what
Pastor Darby in the house.
And we supposed to be praying, but we focus on that because he knows if we ever wake up to the true agenda, we'll start praying. Prayer is what destroys the enemy's works.
But if you follow the money, you go high enough, you start to see, okay, let's take rap music. The same people who own the labels own the prisons.
What?
Now it seems like they're making it cool to be drinking lean and syrup.
So why sign an artist that would promote that? It's opportunistic. Yeah, I got people to feed. I got a business to run.
The master is a tape about as big as the top of this podium that looks like an overgrown 8-track that the album is cut on and is placed in a machine that produces and presses the records and the 8-tracks and cassettes that you buy. After it's been recorded, it's taken in. This is why a master is cut months in advance before it's released. On the full moon, it's taken in to a temple room about the size of this auditorium that is in every one of the major music companies. Behind locked doors up in the executive office, and it's placed on an altar sitting in the north of the room, and a pentagram engraved in the floor, and 13 hand-chosen witches and wizards and a coven come in and conjure a principality or a power up, usually Regent or something like that, and order him to tell the demons under him to follow every record and every tape coming off of that master. That's how many Christian parents. You can go home and count your kids' records, probably yours too, and count how many demons at least are there.
Not sure if you noticed, but music originally was made to worship God. That's what music was, worship.
Music is a powerful force that shapes our culture and influences our lives. But what happens when the beats we love carry a darker message? Today, we dive into the controversial world of popular music, aka pop music, exploring its negative impacts on society and the demonic influences that are at play. Welcome to a journey into the dark underbelly of the music industry, where the lines between entertainment and the occult blur, and where the influence of dark forces on popular music is more than just a conspiracy theory. Follow along as we explore the dangers of witchcraft in music and the satanic influence that permeates the pop culture we consume every day. The idea that demonic forces influence music artists is not new. Legendary blues singer Robert Johnson is famously said to have sold his soul to the devil in exchange for unparalleled musical talent.
Down in Jackson, Mississippi.
Pastor Darby!
Robert Johnson, the father of the blues and rock and roll, got his demonic ability to play the music that now has evolved into what we got now, this witchcraft music that we got now. And that's why every other artist must do the same
I
thing.
said it.
This tale of selling one's soul for fame is a recurring theme in the music industry. This legend continued into modern times with artists like Kanye West, Bob Dylan, and Katy Perry. While performing on stage, Kanye West bragged to his fans about selling his soul to the devil.
I sold my soul to the devil. I know it's a crappy deal. Music came with a few toys like a Happy Meal.
In a 2004 interview with 60 Minutes, Bob Dylan admitted to making a bargain with the chief commander of this world and the unseen world.
Why are you still out here?
Well, it goes back to the destiny thing. I made a bargain with it, a long time ago, and I'm holding up my end.
What was your bargain?
To get where I am now.
Should I ask who you made the bargain with?
with the chief commander.
On this earth?
And on this earth, and then in the world we can't see.
Early in her career, Katy Perry mentioned that she started in gospel music, but eventually sold her soul to the devil for fame.
That's how I got introduced to the music industry, is through gospel music. I swear I wanted to be like the Amy Grant of music. Yeah. But it didn't work out, and so I sold my soul to the devil.
What many don't realize is that Satan is the angel of music. Ezekiel chapter 28, verse 13 speaks of the devil's musical abilities in Eden.
You were in Eden, the garden of Yah. Every precious stone was your covering. The sardius, topaz, and diamond.
What I was telling you about.
And jasper, sapphire, turquoise, and emerald with gold. The workmanship of your timbrels and pipes was prepared for you on the day you were created.
It is no coincidence that Ephesians chapter 2, verse 2 describes Satan as having power over the air.
In which you once walked, following the course of this world, following the prince of the power of the air, the spirit that is now at work in the sons of disobedience.
Satan, that old serpent, knows the power and influence of music. That's why it is so ubiquitous in our culture. Music permeates movies, commercials, video games, and much more to impact our thoughts and emotions.
So the great dragon was cast out, that serpent of old called the devil and Satan, who deceives the whole world. He was cast to the earth, and his angels were cast out with him.
To gain further understanding of Satan and his schemes, watch these documentaries on our channel. Please like and share with those seeking truth. Let's get back to It's Just Music.
Good stuff.
The Beatles' infamous Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band album cover features Aleister Crowley, a well-known occultist and devil worshipper. This clearly identifies the band's demonic influences and the messages embedded in their music. As we just saw in the book of Revelations, Satan has deceived the whole world into looking at the success of musicians and not the source of their power.
Boom!
I want people to think about this. One of Satan's greatest deceptions was making people believe that music is harmless. It's just art. It's just music. And Satan has fooled everyone, all races. It doesn't matter, white, black, all income levels, rich, poor, all age levels, old, youth. Satan is specifically targeting the youth. I was watching this program on television just the other day. This story was about a young high school girl. She came from an upper middle income family. She was intelligent. She was bright. She didn't hang around a bad crowd. This young lady got a 30 on her ACT scores, so she was very intelligent. She had a bright future ahead of herself. So where does the deception come in? Well, this story was extremely sad because her favorite artist that she listened to all the time talked about taking a particular type of drug. This drug that her favorite artist sang about made them hallucinate and gave them special abilities to create songs. So she saw no harm in taking this drug and trying it out. And I want to show you guys this. This drug was no bigger than this sheet of paper. Now I want you guys to remember, this young lady had a 30 ACT score. She died from experimenting with this drug.
Oh my God, see what her lips are blue. And I don't feel off.
Now, who was her favorite artist that planted the seed in her head to try this out? It wasn't a new artist. It wasn't a contemporary pop artist. She got this idea from the Beatles. A band that was popular 40, 50 years ago. So you see, Satan and his demonic message reverberates throughout all generations.
This rise in occultism and Satanism in pop music can be attributed to multiple generations believing lies about Satan, such as the notion that Satan is more powerful than the Most High God. For example, Billie Eilish's song, "All the Good Girls Go to Hell," implies that the devil is so powerful that we should want to be on his team.
All the good girls go to hell.
Satanism promotes systematized selfishness, the idea that one can be their own God. The Bible, however, states that humans are made in Yahuwah's image and are accountable to him. Aleister Crowley, an occultist, famously said, "Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law," reflecting the satanic belief in self-indulgence. In contrast, the Bible commands us to fear Yahuwah and keep his commandments.
Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear Yahuwah and keep his commandments, for this is man's all.
Jay-Z, influenced by Aleister Crowley, boldly sported a shirt declaring, "Do what thou wilt," a command from Crowley's satanic philosophy. Meanwhile, Michael Jackson, originally a dedicated Jehovah's Witness, turned to occultism as his famed sword. He donned an armband inscribed with the sinister numbers 777, echoing the very digits Crowley exalted in his writings. The music world is full of artists involved in the occult. Drop their names and share your thoughts in the comments below. The culture of death in music is undeniable. Artists like Elvis Presley, Whitney Houston, Tupac, Kurt Cobain, and many more met tragic ends, often linked to substance abuse or gun violence. The prevalence of suicide and overdoses among musicians is alarming and indicative of a cursed culture. The cultural acceptance of violence, drugs, and death in music is alarming. 2 Timothy chapter 3 speaks of perilous times where men will be lovers of themselves and despisers of good.
But know this, that in the last days perilous times will come, for men will be lovers of themselves, lovers of money, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, unloving, unforgiving, slanderers, without self-control, brutal despisers of good, traitors, headstrong, haughty, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of Yah, having a form of godliness but denying its power. And from such people turn away.
This prophecy seems more relevant than ever in today's music scene. Satan knows that music wields a powerful influence on contemporary culture and society, shaping trends, attitudes, and behaviors in today's world. Most importantly, he knows how music influences our youth. Music artists play a crucial role in influencing youth culture and societal norms, serving as idols or Pied Pipers for millions of fans around the world. From their fashion choices to their moral and social values, Satan's minions have the ability to shape the minds and beliefs of a generation.
I think that it's important that we as parents be engaged in this fight for the youth, because Satan, he is after our youth.
Amen.
I remember the story of our child when he was in school, our son. He was just,
Amen.
6, 7 years old, riding the bus.
Elementary.
Save our children.
Riding the bus, and they were playing this music first thing in the morning. Want to share that story?
Yes. I remember that time like it was yesterday. Our son, he would ride the bus. This is when he was in public school. And every time he would come home in the afternoon, he would share with us that the bus driver would be playing all kind of wild and crazy music. A lot of it was rap. And of course, I mean, because we are followers of the way, which is followers of the Bible, we would teach our children about these things. So he knew in his spirit that, okay, something is wrong with this. And he said a lot of the children would be wilding out on the bus and just rapping out the songs. And he would come back and tell us about the vulgar language that was in these songs.
And this was first thing in the morning.
First thing in the morning. Yes, before these children even go to school. So this is the type of thing that was on their minds before they even got off of the bus.
This was programming their minds before they even started school.
Yes, and the bus driver was just pumping it up and had the music loud and nodding his head. And for him, that was him getting his enjoyment, but at the same time, it was for him not to have to worry about the children. So just let the music entertain them. And I remember, one time he came home and he was like, he started telling us like, Mom, Dad, like the music is just getting crazier and crazier. And then he started telling us the type of things that he was hearing. And these things were so vulgar, you all. It was speaking of, every, it's hard for me to even say.
Right, just the lyrics.
But the lyrics was very vulgar. A lot of sexual things. And I was like, enough is enough. And I remember, Brother Rasha and I going to the school board. But before I went to the school board, this is what I did. I went online and I actually Googled the station because our son, he remembered the name of the radio station that would play every morning. That's how much it would play. He actually remembered what was the name of it.
This music was on the radio station.
Right. And he told us the name of it, and I went online and I Googled the radio station. And on the website, it actually had all of the songs that played every hour, what song played at a specific time. And you could actually click on the song, and they had all of the lyrics.
Wow.
I was just amazed to see that. I was actually excited that I seen that because I was like, I'm going to have proof. I can, of course, a child would come and tell us things, but the school board, because I was going to the school board, they couldn't tell me anything. They could have said, well, it's his word against the bus driver. The bus driver could have lied about it. But I actually went and I printed the lyrics. I printed the hours, like in the morning time when they're normally on the bus. I printed it all around those times. And when Brother Rasha and I read those words, those lyrics that was in these songs, they was vulgar. Everything, any kind of derogatory thing. I'm trying to keep it clean, but this is what this content is about. It was very vulgar.
And I was so mad about this when we called, because on first they didn't want to listen to us, and I was like, you guys better do something or I'm going to go on the bus and turn the music down myself.
Oh, right. You the one called. I knew you was involved. I just didn't remember how. You called first before me going in with the evidence.
And they said, sir, you better not. We're going to call the cops on
you.
So I had to step back a little bit, and we went about it. Our sister Abigail did it. So.
Right. He wanted to go on the bus and turn it down.
Turn it off.
So that's what I was thinking.
I was going there. I brought the information with me, and I remember going inside that room, and I actually held the papers. I didn't let them know that I had the papers because I wanted to see how far I was going to go and what the superintendent would actually say. And he was like, as I was telling him what was going on, I was telling him the hours it was being played, and he was like, to be honest with you, I think that the bus drivers, they do that for fun, to entertain the children. And I really don't see any harm in that. It was him and it was another person in the room with us. And they was like, we don't see the harm in that. You know what? It's just music. And most of the time, these bus drivers just do that to entertain the children so that, you know, they don't, you know, to prevent anything from happening on the bus, like any fights or arguments, this and that. And I say, oh, okay. I say, well, it's harmless. I say, let me show you something. I pull out the papers. And I actually told him, I said, this is the station that the bus driver plays every single morning. I said, these are the hours that the children are on the bus. I want you to see the songs that's being played around that time. And I said, I even printed out the lyrics for you to see what is being said when these children are going to school. And when I tell you, when that superintendent read what was being said in these songs, when I tell you his jaw dropped, he could not believe it. He was like, I'm so sorry. This is definitely unacceptable. And I was telling him, I said, this is why you have children wilding out when they get off the bus and they go to school. This is where it is coming from.
Yes.
This is what's on their minds early in the morning before they even start their day. I said, so of course you're going to have children acting outside their body, wilding out and doing all kind of crazy things because look what they're doing in the mornings. This is what they're being fed before they even step off the bus. And he was like, you're absolutely right. I am so sorry. We are going to have a meeting with this bus driver. And he was like, this is going to come to an end. It's going to stop. And ever since then, when my son started riding the bus, he started coming home and saying, I don't know if you're all aware of this because this is in the South. We listen to Zydeco in the South, right? This is a South thing. You all might be aware of what that is. But he started saying, Mom, they're playing Zydeco now. This was more like an old school kind of thing that, you know, some of the Zydeco, he was like, this old school Zydeco. And he was like, you know, it's decent music now. It's nothing crazy anymore. And so it really did work. And sadly, I would say a few years after that happened, because the superintendent, he actually took a stand and he started talking to all the bus drivers about the music, because he said that's what he would do now that he's seeing what the children was being fed. And sadly, like a few years after that, he was gone.
Yes.
Somebody stepped in and they had him removed for doing the right thing and trying to protect the children.
Right, for standing up for what's right. It's just important as parents that we engage in this fight, because if not, this is what's going to happen. Our kids are going to constantly be fed this stuff. We have to monitor this stuff.
Yes.
Because Satan, he is after the youth.
Big time.
Pop music harbors dark influences. From the demonic imagery on album covers to concerts where artists openly worship Satan. The link between music and the occult is becoming more overt.
That's what I was talking about, Amanda.
Another disturbing aspect of the influence of Satanism in the music industry is the notion of musicians channeling spirits that overtake their bodies during performances. Some artists have
really bad
experiences where they feel possessed or guided by an otherworldly force while on stage, attributing their extraordinary performances to these spiritual encounters.
Like when you're getting ready to go on stage and perform, does Sasha Fierce, when does she show up?
Usually when I hear the crowd, when I put on my stilettos, when like the moment right before when you're nervous and that other thing kind of takes over for you.
Man is a crazy boy who lives in me. and he says the things that I don't want to say. He was born, just a few months ago. I think he was born out of rage. He was conceived in rage. So he bashes everyone. He threatens to beat people, and he's violent.
That must be nice to have like an ignorant loudmouth who you can just sort of blame every...
He wants to be blamed. I don't want to blame him. I ask him to leave, but he can't. He's here for a reason. People have brought him out. People conjured him up. Now he won't leave.
Fallen angels.
Like I say, to each his own, you know?
I know. You look at her. She's so sweet.
Hey, she powerful too.
Yeah, I did magic for my brother yesterday. Don't talk, sweetheart. It's okay. You're a silly man. I can talk to kids.
She powerful.
I know.
Cause we don't, that's a lot of people right now.
She's sweet to kids, I swear.
Hey, why you don't never just talk for yourself? Why you always talk for your community? You supposed to give them the office. They don't supposed to give you the office. You the control. I got 10,000 angels now. I got 10,000 angels in here with me right now at my command.
You're rude, just a little.
I sacrifice.
I know. I will too. I said I will
Say
too.
what? It's hard. That's a hell of a journey. 42 days, no food. No food. That's a hell of a journey.
I know it is.
Get smile. Felt like I was going crazy after that. I did. Everybody know what it takes. Everybody ain't willing to do what it takes. I'm over 3,000 years old. I'm up in range.
In today's music industry, several artists have admitted to incorporating witchcraft and spells into their music, claiming to cast spells on their listeners. Taylor Swift, known for her hit songs and massive popularity, is one such artist. Swift's music video for Willow features witchcraft imagery, and she has openly talked about the song being akin to casting a spell to make someone fall in love. Beyond these individual admissions, there's a broader pattern of satanic and pagan influences in the music industry.
What really woke me up and let me know, like, okay, the enemy is involved in this kind of music. I'll never forget, there was I had to perform, and I was performing with this famous rapper. I actually opened up for him, and I was, got on the stage. I began to rap and do my thing, and while I was rapping, everybody was feeling it, and everybody liked it, and even this person, he was like, man, he shook my hand even afterwards that I got done. Like, man, you did a great job, and now it's his turn to get on. And so after I got off, I stood in the back of the club, and I saw him get on, and he began to perform. And there was this voice that came to me. And again, I know the voice now, but at the time, I didn't know the voice. I just heard something, and I listened. And this voice said, I need you to go back. I need you to go to the back of the club. I need you to stand on the back wall and watch. Literally, my eye opened to the spirit world. The moment that I said I was going to do what this voice was telling me to do, it was as I got activated. And my eyes opened to the spirit. I see these dark shadows come out of this rapper's mouth and enter the people that was in the club. The women started getting more like seductive and promiscuous, and then the guys started getting more angrier and rowdy, and like the next thing you know, gunshots happen in the club, and we run.
artists like Lady Gaga and Beyonce often involve the use of occult symbols, ritualistic performances, and lyrics that glorify witchcraft and rebellion against biblical values. This trend isn't just about individual beliefs, but reflects a deeper cultural shift. As our society becomes more secular, themes of witchcraft and the occult become more mainstream. This shift can desensitize young listeners to these dark themes, subtly altering their values and perceptions. As we delve deeper into the influence of Satanism in the music industry, it's essential to consider the role of music labels and executives in shaping what we hear. Music labels strategically promote certain types of music, steering the public towards themes of rebellion, immorality, and even Satanism. Many believe that artists have complete creative control over their music, but that's not the reality. Music executives and producers play a significant role in determining which songs get released and promoted. This control can lead to the propagation of specific messages and themes. The industry can subtly influence listeners, especially the younger generation, leading them away from the Bible and the Word of the Most High. As consumers, it's crucial to critically evaluate the music we listen to and understand the potential underlying agendas. In this context, it's vital to question who truly holds the power in the music industry, the artists or the executives. Are the songs we hear a genuine expression of the artist's creativity, or are they carefully curated messages designed to shape our beliefs and behaviors? As we close this exploration, remember the words of 1 Corinthians 15:33. Do not be deceived. Bad company corrupts good character. The music we allow into our lives and the lives of our children matters. It can either uplift and inspire or corrupt and destroy. As 2 Corinthians 2:11 reminds us, we must be vigilant and aware of satanic influences in music so that Satan does not take advantage of us with his devices. Be vigilant, be discerning, and remember that the devil demands sacrifice. Do not let the allure of popular music lead you away from the Most High Yahuwah. His word is truth.
Boom. Follow their stuff.